Here, is everybody here? Is everybody here registered with Royal? I ask that all the time. Everybody's registered with Royal. Yes, yes, yes. If you're not, very easy. Just go to the suppliers in the back office, follow the instructions. Don't mind that question that glitches. Are you a home-based agent? It's going to pop off to no every single time. So don't worry about that. Yes, graduated too. Got my certificate. Yes, yes, yes. You guys know all about those perks. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's dive in. Kind of how I like to run my trainings, you guys, is I'm going to kind of do like a walkthrough of the supplier. And then at the end of it, I'm actually going to walk you through a booking. That way, I always like to leave you guys with a little piece. That way you guys can take this information and boom, you have what I like to call a travel ad, right? So everybody can go out. You guys can actually post this. You guys can start advertising it, which is one of the reasons why I ask, you know, are you registered? Because I hate for you guys to put a promo out there or a travel ad out there and not have access to it or something like that. So, all right, without further ado, cruisingpower.com. Okay, we're going to go ahead and log in. Like I said, Osmara, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Silver Sea, you can't actually book on here. They are more, they're very similar to like Viking. You actually have to call them. You talk to one of our concierge agents and you do it through them. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Also, I will mention, I will try to keep track of the chat box with questions, but I will make sure to dive into questions at the end. So if I end up ignoring something in the chat box, please don't hold it against me. I promise I will answer all of your guys' questions. Scott, I will. That's actually kind of a controversial topic, but we will talk about the perks because they are very unlike Carnival in that aspect. All right, so you guys, let's hold off. Like I said, you guys can put your questions in there. I'll try to answer them. But the biggest thing is let me get through some of this information. You might find that I answer some of your questions so we can get through this. Okay, so we're going to just start up at the top, right up here. Ship locator, search promotions, search itineraries, see our ships, cruise planner, directions to port, cruise only transfers, so on and so forth. You guys can click on search promotions. It'll tell you what promotions they've got going on. Right, updated regularly. This is your best source for complete up-to-date information. All prices are shown in USD. Okay, so you guys can look there. Search itineraries, right? What kind of itineraries are there? I don't use these tools, but they're there for you if you want to. You can see our ships. What kind of ship do you want? Maybe you want to learn about it. Now, I don't know about you guys. Anybody here a fan of Google? Anybody ever had a leader tell you, go Google it? Please tell me I'm not the only one that tells people to Google things. Anybody else Google? Google's their best friend. YouTube is my best friend also, right? If I want to see what a ship looks like, if I want to get an idea of what a ship looks like for my client, I am going to hop on over to YouTube, right? I'm going to go ahead and hop on over to YouTube and I am going to take a tour of a cabin type. I'm going to take a tour of the ship. I'm going to look at pictures of the ship, right? Speaking of YouTube, every single one of you should be subscribing to my YouTube. I almost typed YouTube. Go to YouTube, type that in. I don't have the link off the top of my head, but you guys can go look that up. But yes, absolutely. So I have other cruise trainings on there if you guys end up starting asking me. So you guys, I use YouTube. I am not afraid of you looking up YouTube. I look at ships, I look at classes, I look at rooms, I look at dining, I look at food, I look at all of those things. Because guess what? When I am planning a cruise for my clients, I want to be able to tell them, this is how 4 people sleep in that room. I want to be able to tell them, this is how 5 people sleep in a room, right? This is what a balcony looks like, right? This is what an extended balcony looks like. There we go. I knew somebody was going to throw it in there. Awesome. All right. So see our ships. Cruise planner, we're not going to dive into that quite yet. Directions to port, cruise only transfers, quick references for those ships. Booking tools, right? Espresso, that is what they call their booking portal. They call it Espresso. I don't know why they call it Espresso, but c'est la vie, they call it Espresso. Flight Finder, this is a question that people ask me all the time. Krista, how do I book flights for my cruise? Anybody had that question? Put in the chat box. Yes, 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 no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, yes. Because people are like, well, I got the cruise. How do I do the flight? A lot of people don't know that cruise lines have their own flight department. Royal Caribbean's flight department is called Air to Sea. Air, the number 2, and then the word sea, like the ocean, SEA. So Air to Sea. You guys, or you can use the flight finder. This is really cool because you can actually put in their reservation number. You can put in the information that you're going to need, and it will populate flights that will work. I will tell you, when I was flying home from Australia after my 18-day cruise, that is how I flew home. It saved me $800 going through this booking tool. I actually just had an agent. She just got done booking 3 cabins. She saved ticket-wise on airline tickets $600 per person round trip. So make sure you're utilizing that flight finder, especially those people that are adamant about not flying in early, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you can. You can look at those flights without a reservation as well. Now, there is hotels, Royal Caribbean Celebrity, they do hotels. They do hotels that you can do in a combination with. You guys, I do not personally recommend the hotels through them. I find that they're extremely expensive. However, I do like the flights. But like I said, if they're coming in early, do flight hotel, maybe through another vendor that you prefer. Redeem future cruise credits, group travel. You guys, I have a whole training on group travel. I am not diving into Royal Caribbean groups right now because it is a whole other training in itself. But if you do have a group that you're wanting to do with Royal Caribbean, like I said, hop on over to my YouTube. I have a group, how to do a group booking with Royal Caribbean. Online payments, travel documents, coupon redemption, shore and land excursions, purchase gifts. You guys want to purchase gifts for your clients? Thank you for booking with me, right? Here's a fun little whatever, trinket, okay? Discover Icon of the Seas. Obviously, Icon of the Seas is their brand new, beautiful ship. Hasn't quite hit the water, right? It's not quite sailing yet, but we absolutely can be booking our clients on there if you can find a sailing that still has some cabins available, right? Is it normal for out-of-country cruises to not have any ports in the States? For example, I was looking up Greece cruise, but the only ports were in Barcelona. The clients would have to fly to Barcelona to go on the cruise. Yeah, just because they want to go on a Greek cruise, right? Just because they want to go to Greece doesn't mean that that's where they're getting on the cruise, right? I had a client the other day that said, "Hey, Krista, I want to go to Alaska, but I don't want to go to Canada." And I'm like, sorry, it has to hit international. It has to hit an international port. That is a whole other set of laws. If you guys don't know, there's actually laws that cruise lines have to follow. Some of those being international waters, right? You have to hit international waters in order to have a casino. You have to hit international waters in order, for certain things to work. Maybe you buy the drink package. Why am I paying taxes on my drink package while I'm in port, but as soon as I hit international waters, I'm not paying taxes on it, right? It's those duty-free things. So needless to say, going down through here, online payments, travel documents, coupon, shore excursions, purchase gifts, marketing. Sorry, that's where we're at. I lost track of my spot. You guys can go create a quote, digital brochures. How many here like advertising their business? Silly question. I know that's silly. How many of you guys like to advertise your business? How many of you guys say, man, I don't know how to advertise. I don't know what to advertise. Right? I know it was a silly question, but everybody here should be advertising their business, right? Guess what? Our vendors and suppliers, they give us the marketing material for free. One of the things that I really like about Royal Caribbean, and not very many other very many vendors do this. When a flyer has expired, if you download a digital flyer, you download something to advertise for your business. When you guys advertise it, when that ad expires, they send you an email and say, hey, FYI, time to pull that flyer down, because that promotion is no longer going on. That's no longer happening. And they don't want us to obviously be handing out things that are incorrect. Marketing resources, again, for Osmar Celebrity Royal Caribbean. Perfect Day. You guys want to learn about Perfect Day at Coco Cay? There's a lot of things that you guys can learn about Perfect Day at Coco Cay. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get off the ship and I'm going to just enjoy everything on the island. You guys, that is not the case. A lot of the things to go to the water park, it is additional. Don't get your clients to Coco Cay and then they think that they get to go to the water park. There is a VIP section. There's a restaurant with a VIP section that is for suite guests. So if they happen to see this area, right, that is a moment in order for you to upsell to maybe a suite. They wanted a balcony. Now you're upgrading to a suite because they really want to go use that area, right? Order collateral. We should all be ordering collateral, especially, well, let me rephrase that. Order collateral if you're going to use it. Please don't order collateral if you're going to just have it sit in a box in your garage and you're never going to touch it, right? So make sure that you're ordering collateral. If you guys are going to do vendor shows, community events, festivals, whatnot, so you guys are going to advertise out to your community, grab some of those. Ask your doctor's office, hey, do you mind if I put a couple of these in there? All of these things, all of these resources are given to you guys by the vendors, right? Archer Travel Agency. I'm sure that's not your name, but we all need to make money. We all need to, right? Incentive travel, cruise tours, digital asset library. Okay, training and benefits, training certification. You guys, so I'm going to dive into this here for just a second because I know that people are going to ask about perks. Krista, what perks? Hold on. What perks am I going to get with them? Now, you guys, like I told you, not all cruise lines are created equal, right? Not all things are going to be, you know, it's just different, right? Every cruise line is a little bit different. So when it comes to the perks of Royal Caribbean, it's a little bit different. I recently called them because I actually have a group cruise for my birthday that I put together, and I was calling to get travel agent perks, pricing, whatnot, and there's not as much there available. Excuse me, Shanna, I actually posted it everywhere. Anybody and everybody is welcome to go on my birthday cruise. We're flying out of New York September 10th. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. So anyways, you guys, here is that Royal Caribbean University where you guys can get those different certifications. You guys can see the benefits that you get with them here, but it's going to be things like Zoom. Man, I need to update my trainings. Right? I need to update. I have some continuing education in there. Nothing like putting my slacker business out there. Just kidding. So you guys, here you guys can earn Bachelor of Adventure, Master of Adventure, and all of the rewards that go with it. Seminars at Sea, onboard credit, boom, bonus commission opportunities, CLIA credits, accolades. You guys can put accolades on your thing, a certificate, display of master accolade on your agency's travel agent locator listing, display of bachelor certificate, and CLIA credits there for those things that you guys can get for the rewards. Now, that is the certificate that you guys can do. Now, right here, everybody's going to click on this button. They're going to say, but Krista, right here, it says TA reduced rates. Okay, I see it. There must be TA reduced rates, right? I will tell you that I have, and watch, it's going to call me a liar right now because I'm going to do it and it's going to pop up. I have never been successful at finding something on here. I typically, when I'm booking my own cruises and my own stuff, I end up, yep, same thing happens all the time. I end up just calling them, hey, is there a travel agent rate? Anybody that knows me knows I have no problem asking for a discount. Is there a discount on this? Can I get a travel agent rate? And I actually did call and it was like $50 difference. I mean, $50 is $50, right? But it wasn't like, oh, hey, whatever. But it's also because I get different pricing with my level of cruising, right? So call in, you never know, right? Doesn't hurt to ask. Doesn't hurt to ask to see. Brand programs and news, healthy cruising, partner express, Osmar connection, celebrity commitment, royal loyal to you, always latest news. Maybe you guys put newsletters out there. I don't know if anybody does newsletters for their business, but if you guys do newsletters, you guys can absolutely add that information. Can absolutely add that information to a newsletter. Now comes the good stuff. Now comes the good stuff. Now that we've kind of walked through there, I want to actually dive into maybe, oops. I swear sometimes it's easier just to go to the front, go to the front page. Okay, so down here, you guys can see you can start an individual reservation. You can start a group. You can find a reservation. Finding a reservation is real simple. You're going to type in your client's name. It's going to show up over here, the different reservations. So Oasis of the Seas. This is my cruise. I can open it up and I can show you. Here's the information. Here's the, here's the passengers. There's the cruise. There's who's going on it, total price. Over here, you guys can see the itinerary, categories, promotions, staterooms, guest details, final pricing. You guys can add gratuities and options if you didn't already. If your client has a future cruise credit, make sure that you're utilizing that. Special services, cross-referencing. If you guys have, maybe you didn't set it up as a group, but you have a couple of cabins, you guys can cross-reference. So that way, when they're figuring out where in the dining hall you're going to be sitting, they can put you guys all together at one big table. Again, flight finder, so I can go add that flight to my cruise, flight information, pre and post hotel, make a payment, payment schedule, payment history. Here's your cruise ticket documentation, group reports, because this is a group, it's part of a group, so that one's there. Cruise planner purchases and service history. You guys can look at all of that different stuff there in your booking. So I'm glad I can at least show you guys that. I don't want to touch anything in my, I don't want to touch anything in there. All right, automation for every destination. Espresso helps you get more done. Ain't that nice? Right? And then, like I said, right here, find a flight. So they give you a couple of different places for you guys to be able to find a flight. Begin your reservation search by typing the reservation number here, or you can book by ship. So let's just pick a, oh, I don't know. Let me pick a sail date. I'm going to go off of mine only because I know when that sail date is, just to kind of show you guys an idea. So you want to do round trip, preferred class, all, preferred airline. You guys could change that. Currency is in US dollars. Let's just go ahead and put in LAX. Flying to Newark, arriving, we'll just leave it on that day. Arrive by noon. Return Newark to LA, departing on September 17th, departing after 12. Please, 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 please do not ever put your client on a flight before noon. If you do, please explain to them that they may be making a mad dash. One of the things that I have people say is, well, Krista gets in at 8 o'clock, so why couldn't they be at the airport at 10? Understand that usually the ships get in about 6 in the morning, but they have to go through customs. They have to go through customs, depending on how long custom takes. They could start offboarding it at 8 a.m., but understand you're getting thousands of people off, especially on a mega ship. So you can imagine that's going to take quite a bit of time. Then they have to get their luggage, go through customs themselves. Then you got to get an Uber or take the transfer, whatnot, right? Please don't make it stressful on them. They just got off a relaxing cruise. So try to stick anytime afternoon. So now we're going to look for view available flights. You had to rebook a cruise for yourself because I hadn't catching a flight at 10. Gotcha. Yeah. Don't do that. So now it's going to show you guys just like any other flights that you're picking. Main cabin 416, first class 1294. There we go. You guys can change it. You want nonstop? All right, cool. 427. It's refundable and I can pay later. How awesome is that? Right? So you guys can look in here. Actually, that's not too bad. 427.11. Leaves at 11. Leaves it at night. Ooh, look at that. Guys, I might be coming to book my flights later. Right? That's not too bad on United. So now you guys kind of know how those flight finders work. Right. So now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of it. Any questions thus far? I'm going to get into a booking, but I don't want to, any questions this far? Please remember that cabins have max totals. You can the cabin pattern, right? Yep, we're going to get into all of that. Any questions on what I've gone over so far? Nope. Maybe you're typing. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can make payments on cruises. I use the link provided for the university. It says that I'm not compliant. I don't, so you're registered, maybe your registration's gone through, like you can log in. Well, I guess so, if you can get on there. That might be an internal thing. Did you say that you get commission if air books through reservation? I did not, Audrey. I honestly don't know. I don't usually, I convince my clients to go before, so I don't usually use the flight section. I've never used it for a client, so I can't, to be 100% honest, I don't really know. But I would, if I was a betting woman, my answer would be no, but don't hold me to that. Only for internal employees. Will you post this session on your channel? Make payments on flights. Oh yeah, because it said book now, pay later. So I think it actually adds it. What it'll do, it'll actually add it to your reservation and add it to that total. What was the reason you want to book after 12 again? Brian, because there's no guarantee that they're going to get off the, like you, because obviously you have to be at the airport 2 hours before. Well, if you're, you know, like me and you travel with 15 things of luggage and 3 kids and a husband and best friend and everything else, there's a lot of people and it takes time to get through things, especially if you're in New York. You're going to want plenty of time to get through all of those things. So I would for sure leave that time. So okay, so now we are going to dig into the reservation. You gotta ask for, yep, yeah, you can, and you can ask to get off earlier, but it's always, I like to finish my vacation nice and leisurely. I like my clients to finish nice and leisurely, right? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go through this. So all brands. Osmara, Celebrity, Royal. We're obviously doing Royal, so we're going to stick with Royal. Plus, if you have to go to the purser's desk to dispute charges, you still have to stand in line twice to exit the ship. Yeah, yeah, do that before. Go the night before and talk about your bill. All right, so Royal Caribbean, destination. Let's see, where do we want to go? Let's go Bahamas. Why not? We're going to leave this in USD. Number of rooms, 1. Ship. You guys, I leave it at all ships unless there is a very specific ship that they want to go on. Now, one of the things that I really love about Royal Caribbean, one of the things I absolutely love about Royal Caribbean is that you can do multiple rooms at one time. You can do all the way up to 4 rooms. Also, with Royal Caribbean, as well as other cruise lines, there are rooms that hold more than 4 people. However, you cannot do it on the portal. So if you're trying to book for more than 4 people in a stateroom, one, I suggest they book early because they have a limited amount of rooms that hold 5, and you're going to want to book that early. Same thing if they're going to want conjoining rooms, but we're going to go through all of that right now. Josana, so the couple of times that I have personally done flights for myself through the Flight Finder, they've been cheaper. All right, so we're going to do number of rooms because I'm going to hit this this training all at once, because what I don't want to leave you guys with is doing one room and then you guys go in there to try to do two and then you're back to Krista, I need help and I need more, right? So I am going to walk you guys through number of rooms, which is 2. All ships I'm going to leave blank. We're going to go ahead and pick a cruise a couple of months out. All right, October. We're going to do October. I know you're not supposed to go to the Bahamas in October. Like that's hurricane season, but I've known plenty of people that have, and those ships just go right around the hurricane. But if your clients are worried about hurricanes, maybe don't, but we're going to do it. If you choose 4 rooms, double occupancy, can you pay with multiple credit cards? Yep. And I'm going to show you. I'll show you guys. It wouldn't be the first time I booked a cruise and not actually had anybody going on it. Okay, so departure date. We're going to do October. We're going to do 2 adults. And we're going to do, let's just do 1 kid. What the heck, right? Resident, what state do we live in? Let's just put California because that's where I'm at. Are they over? Is someone, not everyone, but is someone in the party, in the room, over the age of 55? I'm a witness out at sea for an extra day during a hurricane. Yep, they do. Some people get extra time, some people get less time. So are they over 55? Are they a U.S. or Canadian law enforcement? Are they fire department or EMT? Are they U.S. military or Canadian forces? Those of you that know me, you know that for the last 15 years of my life, prior to being a travel agent, I was a paramedic. So for 15 years, I was a paramedic. Guess why Royal Caribbean is one of my favorite cruise lines? Why do you think they're one of my favorites? Right here. Because they give fire and EMS. They give EMS discounts. So, you know, you give me a discount. I told you guys I like discounts, right? I like discounts. So I'm going to go where the discounts are. So fire department or EMT, U.S. military or Canadian forces. So law enforcement, military, as well as EMS. They will classify all of that in there. So you guys can put in those discounts. Also, if your cruise line, when you guys are qualifying your client, everybody knows what I was a paramedic for 15 years as well. Awesome. Yay. Us paramedics got to stick together. That's actually why I'm a travel agent now. I blew out my back on a TC and here I am. What was I saying? Okay, loyalty number. When you guys qualify your clients, you guys all know what qualifying your client means? You guys all know what qualifying your client. I want to make sure I'm not using terms that people don't understand. That doesn't mean ask them if they're single or married. That doesn't ask them for a credit check. It doesn't ask them any of those things. Simply, it is asking them the questions about their vacation. So when you are asking questions about what they want to do, ask them if they've ever cruised before. If they say, yes, I've cruised on Royal Caribbean before, your follow-up question is, do you know your loyalty number? The reason that you ask for the loyalty number is because there's going to be discounts specific to their account. Now, the last thing that you want is somebody to say, well, I could get it cheaper. And the only reason that they're able to get it cheaper is because they're using their loyalty number and you are not. Don't make that rookie move. Always ask, have you ever cruised on this cruise line before? If they say yes, and you ask them, do you know your loyalty number? And they say, no, I don't know it. Fancy that. There is a search button. You guys can look it up with their first and last name and date of birth. Don't quote them without putting that in there. Okay. So we're going to leave this with no loyalty number. We're going to just leave it blank. Then we're going to click on search. It's going to confirm that I'm booking more than one room. Now it's going to take you to this screen because I'm booking multiple rooms. It's going to ask me destination again. I don't know why. Now it's going to ask me, where do I want to depart from? Baltimore, Cape Liberty, Fort Lauderdale, Galveston, Miami, Orlando, or Tampa. Okay, I'm going to leave it blank just because it has the departure date and they want a 7-night cruise. Obviously, that currency is set at US dollars. This is where this double room comes in, and I will try to go slow as to not confuse anybody. You guys name your rooms. I don't care what you name them. I typically will do the initials of the people that are going to be in the room, As you can see, it popped up. Now in this room, it's going to be 2 adults and 1 child. The name of the, or the age of the child is 7. This button right here, connecting staterooms. Okay. So you make sure you go through all of this. Does anybody have a loyalty number? Again, they're going to verify all of this information. Now, this is where people get tripped up. They hit the search button. Yes, you'll have to call in for a room of 5. That's why you can't put more than, you can put more than 5 in a room, but you have to make it over the phone. Okay. So this is where people get hung up when they're doing multiple rooms. They fill this out and they hit the search button. They never actually go identify room 2. Click on room 2. It's now going to, you guys see how it toggled over? Now I'm going to call this one something else. Okay, this one has 2 adults. Maybe it has 1 adult and 2 children. Select the ages. Again, select the connecting room. Okay, again, loyalty number, age 55, law enforcement, EMS, military, select residence. Okay, now that you have put this in there, now you guys, okay, it's 2 adults and 1 child. This one's 1 adult and 2 children. I got connecting rooms. Looks good. Now we're going to hit search. So now it's going to, and it's, I get it. Some people are like, it asks a lot of questions redundantly, right? I just go with it. Okay. It asks redundant questions, right? Royal Caribbean, all ships, destination. Yeah. Okay. I said Bahamas. It didn't stick. Whatever. I do it again. All the ports. Here's the departure date, number of nights, just in case you forgot to put the loyalty number in there. Confirming it is 1 adult and 2 children, 7 and 9, connecting staterooms. Just in case you forgot to mark one of those, it's giving you that. Now I'm on this room 2 over here. So 5 or more rooms is considered group. We can't create groups on the site. Actually called in to book my group. Rhonda, false. You can actually book your group. I book groups on Royal Caribbean's website all the time. All the time. So much so that I have a training on it. So there's no problem booking groups online at all. But I don't want to get into groups because that's a whole other language. So, so here we are on this room because that's the one that it stays on. You guys are going to now look at what room, which cruise you want. I thought I heard you say you had, no. If you want to put more than 5 people in a room, you have to call. But if you're doing a group booking, you guys can do group bookings on the website. Can 1 adult book 2 cabins and their second cabin has nobody over 21 with connecting cabins? The rule is that there has to be somebody over the age of 21 in the cabin. Now, if you call and they do their magic, so be it. Now, this is what I do. If I have a family of 5, oh wait, I do have a family of 5. I don't put all 5 of us in a room. I did that once. I didn't like it. What I do is I put me in one room, right? I'll put me in one room, my husband in another room. I'll put 1 kid in this room, 2 kids in this one. They're conjoining rooms. Me and my husband are in one room. The kids are in the other room. Royal Caribbean isn't going to come knock on the door every single night to make sure that I'm sleeping in this room and he's sleeping in that room. So if you have the situation where they want 2 rooms, just put an adult in each room, conjoin the room, open the door in the middle, right? So we're going to go ahead and select our cruise. So they wanted to go in October. This is when they wanted to go. Okay. Laugh out loud, thought they would verify that. Nah, they ain't going to knock on the door. They don't really care who sleeps in whose room. It's for documentation purposes. It's a liability. They have to say, well, they said that they were gonna, whatever. So I will tell you why I also split my husband and I like that into rooms, but not right now. So It may have something to do with the drink package. I'll leave it at that. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to select this room. This sailing 22 October 2023, 7 nights, Royal Caribbean, Oasis of the Seas, Bahamas, BYE, which is the New York port. You guys can see the prices here. Please do not quote from these prices. Cola, I'm going to get through that. You guys are jumping way ahead. I got you. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go all the way through how to quote this, right? Okay, so interior, ocean, balcony, deluxe, right? Don't quote from here, but we're going to go ahead and select that. But now we're going to go over here. And we're going to select, woo, come on. We're going to select the cruise. And we're going to hit select. All right, so you guys can see here, I'm on room number 1. I want a balcony room. Okay, balcony room. It's going to show me what is available. Now, remember how I told you guys to make sure to use this symbol, right? Make sure you put the connecting. If you guys don't remember to click the connecting button, it will not show you the connecting rooms. You guys see the double arrow. So now what you're going to do is you're going to look for a balcony room that's available that has that connecting symbol. So this one's available, this one's available, this one's available. Let's see, available. I like it. This one, boardwalk view balcony. This one's available. Central Park, right? So one's facing Central Park, one's facing boardwalk, which are different sections on the Oasis class ships. And then if you wanted, they're like, no, I want to see the ocean, right? So we're going to go ocean view balcony, and we're going to select this. On Carnival, I booked a person under 21 years old, 20 in their own cabin, right next to her cabin. Carnival links cabins together. Yes, Audrey. And that's the thing, is that it has to be approved by the cruise line. It will flag it. If you don't put somebody, if you try to put, especially like people under 18 all in one room, it'll flag it when you go to put the information in. So here is, so I went ahead and I put in a 3D ocean view balcony. So I'm going to come back down here again, connecting rooms. I'm going to come down here to a 3, or it's already on 3D. So I'm going to click on this second room and I'm going to find that 3D again. So now we're going to scroll down to 3D. You guys take it from me. If you're putting 3 people in one room and you want conjoining rooms, go with the 3 people in the room conjoining it. It's very difficult to find a 4-person room connected to a 2-person room, and they won't put 2 people in a 3-person room. I know that from experience. I got bumped from my cabin when I was 3 people and bumped it down to 2 people. They changed my cabin. That was years ago. So what's the free kids? So free kids, Royal Caribbean does free, kids sail free, meaning that kids under the age of 12 sail free if they are the 2nd and 3rd guest. 2nd and 3rd guest, kids under the age of 12 will sail free. You still have to pay port fees and taxes on them, but the cruising portion is free. And then NRD is non-refundable deposit. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. So now you guys can see 3D, ocean view. Now, this is where you guys can decide what you want to do. Do you want to create an e-quote? Do you want a price quote? Or are we moving on to the stateroom? So first I'm going to click on price quote. This is where you guys can quote from, okay? And this is why I told you guys not to quote from those first ones, because discounts start applying, right? Guest 3 and 4 are always going to be cheaper than guest 1 and 2. Yes, 12 and under are complimentary, or not complimentary, kids sail free. Will there be a replay of this ahead of Yes, Alicia, this is being recorded. It will be posted later. So now you guys can see here, it is showing you guest 1 price, guest 2 price, guest 3 price with the total price. You guys can also click here and see your commission. Okay, so this is the commission total for guest 1, total for guest 2. This is your total commission. Now, anybody know why there's no commission on guest 3? I like testing people. I like the test. Anybody have any idea why there's no commission on guest 3? Exactly. I love it. It's because the kid's free, right? Free. We don't make commission on taxes on Royal Caribbean, right? So that's why there's no commission. So if you guys look at this and you're like, wait, they're chipping me, I'm not getting any commission. It's because they're sailing for free. I mean, look at their prices, $162, right? $162 for guest 3. So not when the other ones are $1,650. So here's your total price for this cabin, just over $3,000. Okay, same thing. If you go to this one, you guys can click over this one, 3464. Wait, I clicked over, right? Yes, 3464. There you go. Because you guys, even though there was 1 adult and 2 kids in that one room and they're both under 12, kids sail free again, like I said, is only on the 3rd and 4th guest. So that other kiddo is paying full price. So you guys can quote from that page. You guys can also go down here. You guys can create an e-quote. It is an email that you can actually go in there, and you guys can actually select a couple different cabin types. And now we're going to go to stateroom, because I want to show you guys how to actually select a stateroom. Prices are based off of double occupancy. So now what it's going to do is now you're going to be finding those rooms. It will tell you, it's going to tell you guys, if you click on it, it will tell you information. It will show you pictures if you wanted a description. It's also going to tell you these rooms are either on 12, 14, 6, 7, 8, or 11. Why is this so backwards? 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 14. It wanted me to use my brain today, right? So now you guys can go through and you guys can see if there is any conjoining rooms. So you guys can see here, there is only 1 of them. So now we're going to go down. We're going to just work our way. There is no rhyme or reason or easy way to do this. We are going to go to, I don't think 9 was one of them. I think that was the one I skipped. Let's go to deck 11. We're looking for this illustrious. Okay, so right down here, this is going to save us time. No available connecting rooms found for this selected category. So if they wanted connecting rooms, you guys can go back and do that. For time's sake, I'm not going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, what you're going to do is we're going to just play a game of pretend. We're going to play a game of pretend, and we're going to roll with it. So we're going to click on this one, click select, and then if this room, this room is next door because we're playing a game of pretend, right? So this room is also available. So we're going to pretend and we're going to click on that one. Obviously it's not available. So over here, right? But we're going to just pretend we're all on the page. We're pretending that they're connected, right? So, but you guys, you might have to play a game of back and forth to see what is available, what is not available. And like I said, it's harder to find conjoining rooms when you pick a cruise that's closer, right? We're looking at, what did I pick? October, right? So it may be a little bit harder maybe for this cruise to find conjoining rooms, but it is going to be a little bit of a game of back and forth trying to find those rooms. All right, then all you would have to do next is proceed to guest details. Oh, I didn't select a room for this one apparently. I just selected 2 rooms. So now it's going to show you over here the rooms. So 7682 deck 7. And then if you clicked on this one, it would tell you the same thing. Now we're going to go ahead and proceed to guest details. So the up down arrow, yes, the double arrow, that means connecting room. So then here you are, reservation pending, total price $6,928.44. Total taxes, fees, port expenses per person, $162.74. They are getting the free kids non-refundable deposit. Now, when you get to this screen, you can actually go in and you can add your insurance and gratuities by clicking that button. So go ahead and add the insurance. You guys can also add the gratuities. I like to try to go with an all-in price for my clients. I try to give it all to them. That way they don't have to pay for things. They've already prepaid a lot of those things. So now you guys can see the price went up $75.11, but that's only because I added it to this room. I haven't added it to this room yet, which I'm not going to be able to go over there because it won't unlock this until I put the guest names in. But guest names, just like most all of our other vendors, title, first and last name, exactly like it appears on the passport, birthday, gender, citizenship, onboard language. You guys, if you get passport information, you guys could input that already. It will help when they're doing their online check-in because they're going to ask for it eventually anyways. Then guest 2, Air City, guest 3. Now you guys are going to come down here. How would I like to dine? Confirm seating. It's either 5:30 or 8. I don't like the times. Not much I can do about it. 5:30 or 8 or my time dining. I like to equate this to going to a restaurant and waiting for a table to be available. That's the best way to explain my time dining. It's like going to a restaurant waiting for a seat to open. Okay, 5:30, 8. Now, some ships, they actually have a different dining room for my time altogether, just depending on the ship and how big it is and if they can have multiple dining rooms. Table size. This has changed, I know, a little bit since COVID. Now, me personally, I usually used to cruise with just me and my son. And I like to sit at a table with other people. I like to get to know people. Does everyone need a passport on these cruises? Nicole, I will mention, okay. So when it comes to cruises, okay, if it is a closed loop cruise, you may not need a passport. However, the cruise line can decide whether or not it is considered a closed loop cruise. Please maybe I want a donut. Please do not assume that because it's leaving out of Miami and it's returning to Miami, that they don't need a passport. Because as soon as you assume something, we all know what happens, right? What's the easiest way to find out? Call. Doesn't take very long to call. I always want a donut, right? Call. Hey, is this a closed loop cruise? You could Google it. You might find out, you may not, but again, I like to make sure because I do not want my clients to show up with a certified birth certificate and a government form of ID and they say, sorry, you need a passport. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to be in a whole lot of trouble. I'm going to get some nasty reviews and I don't have time for that, right? So please do your research and make sure that you do that. With that being said, also, if you're doing a back-to-back cruise, so a B2B, you guys might hear B2B, make sure that you guys follow those rules as well. I've had people that have booked B2Bs, I've known people prior to me being a travel agent that have booked B2Bs and they did not, the alignment didn't work right, and they got booted off one of their cruises. So if you guys have somebody that wants to do back-to-back cruises, I would talk to the cruise line. So again, you don't necessarily need a passport for every single cruise, just make sure. Now, I always tell my clients, it behooves you to get a passport. You leave out of Miami, everything's going wonderful. Cruise is going fantastic. Day 5, you're in Jamaica and you break your leg. God forbid. God forbid you break your leg. You are now held up in a hospital in Jamaica and the cruise ship has now left you. How are you flying home? How are you gonna fly home? You don't have a passport. Like, you're really screwed, glued, and tattooed, right? So you guys just tell your client, I mean, if they're adamant about not having a passport, then that's cool, but I never suggest it. Yes, closed loop starts and ends at this. Okay, it starts and ends. It's a North America thing. So it starts and ends at the same cruise port and never leaves North America. Okay. All right. So back to this dining options, small, large. Some people, they want to be intimate. It's a party of 2. They only want to sit with themselves. They don't like meeting new people. They don't like being friends with people, whatever. Stick with 2. Me, I'm a social butterfly. I like to meet everybody. I would go sit. If there was one seat left at a table of complete strangers, I would plop my, you know what, down. I have a very interesting vocabulary. So I'm that person in high school. There was one seat left in a group full of people I didn't know, probably a clique I wasn't in, and I sat my butt down. I don't care. I'm gonna sit down. You either like me or you don't. If you don't like me, you'll get up. So anyways, so group of 10, I like to be social. If they don't, ask them, hey, you want to sit by yourselves? Whatever. Okay. Now you guys can use dining for all agents. Let me, Krista, preach it. You know, that's me. That's how I roll. All right. So future cruise credit redemption. This happened a lot during the pandemic, right? Doesn't happen so often anymore, but when we came out of the pandemic, a lot of people had future cruise credits and they had to redeem them. You guys can do this. Put in their certificate numbers. They probably have them. You're the kind of person I would feel comfortable sitting with. Heck yeah. Aw. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Okay, so share your certificate values, what this means. And this actually happened to me with mine. I had $1,000. My daughter had $500. My son had $500. But the cruise was, and I'm making up numbers, the cruise was $900. Well, I have $100 left on mine. I don't want a cruise credit for $100. I could apply that $100 towards theirs. So that's what the share certificate value is. Bed configuration, okay, apart, meaning the bed is going to be together or the big bed is going to be apart, okay? If you have, maybe you have 2 sisters, 2 brothers, they don't want to sleep in the same bed together, keep it apart. Maybe they're old school grandma and grandpa, and they do that whole sleep apart thing. Make sure you ask that because you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want just to assume that they want to sleep in a bed together, okay? Even husband and wife. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. There was a funny travel agent article that came out. It was like reasons why people were mad at their travel agents, and it was a husband and wife that ended up coming back from vacation. They conceived a child, and they were mad at their travel agent for it. I have a client that wants to go to her birthday. I've never booked on Royal. Well, this is perfect training for that, right? Absolutely. Okay, so apart, together. Then pre-vacation information. Now everybody does things a little bit differently. Email and phone number. I like emails to go to me. I like to put my client's phone number. Dude, that's on them. It totally is, but they like to complain, right? So email address, I like to put mine, and then I put my client's phone number. You guys, I'm not trying to recreate the wheel or try to teach you something that you've already been taught a different way. That's just personally what I do. Now, insurance, California, California, California. Be mindful of this down here. I know it's super small, but down here, New York State residents may be purchased through somewhere like another insurance, right? This no longer covers residents of New York, right? We have another supplier. You guys name that supplier that you can use for insurance. Tin leg. There you go. Perfect, right? Just because you can't offer it here doesn't mean you can't offer them, right? All right, so I'm going to do Royal a favor and not book another cruise that I have no intention of sailing on. So I'm not going to click review and book. But once I clicked review and book, then I would then move on to the next cruise. Now, a question that I recently got asked, and I have personal experience from this, if somebody who is pregnant will be having the child prior to going on the cruise, and that child is going on the cruise, but they don't know the name, they don't know the birthday, you guys can book that person. You guys, they will change the name and birth date for an unborn child who is going to be going on a cruise sometime after they're 6 months old. So yeah, that is the extent of booking it. Obviously, I'm not going to click review and book, but once you get over here, once you fill this all out, you would go over to the second one, go back over to insurance, gratuities, and options, add that. Anything else, you would just duplicate the process. And because it's 2 cabins, it is going to cross-reference them. And that is how you book a Royal Caribbean cruise. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for one moment so my chat box gets a bit bigger. We have, I know I went over time. I go over time every single time. You guys, I am going to, if it is okay with our favorite hosts, I'm going to take a few questions before we hop off.
Absolutely. This is Shauna, by the way. I'm filling in for Miss Amy. Her voice ended up completely being lost by that little bit that she did.
Oh no.
I know. Just wanted to make sure that everybody knew. And
hold on one. I'll be back in 32 seconds. I have 4-year-old duties. Be right back.
This is real life, everyone, right? Okay, so I'll get to the questions for her and read them out to make sure that we have them. So if you have your questions, go ahead and pop them in here into the chat. An amazing training today. Super excited that she went over everything.
I'm back. All right, sorry. So I want to make sure, if anybody has any questions that I know people always tell me Royal Caribbean is the hardest, it's the most confusing, it's all of those things. So
oh, I feel like it's not as confusing as Norwegian personally. And you just made it super easy. I learned a lot of nuggets. I'm glad that you did this. So our first question is, if you're traveling on Carnival, should you buy their insurance or just go through Tinleg?
Well, I always go with the insurance that is provided by the cruise line, because they're going to cover cruisy type things, right? And Tinleg, I mean, not saying that they're not going to cover it, not saying that they're not going to incorporate all of it, but if the cruise line is offering it, then go through it, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, next one is, if there's agents from Mexico, we cannot book insurance with cruise lines. I think that's more of a statement. Yep.
Yeah.
Lots of thank yous for sharing and training. So with this supplier, can you call them on questions for your client?
Absolutely. You guys, I tell people all the time, do not be afraid to pick up the phone. Do not be afraid to pick up the phone. If you are somebody that is afraid and nervous, find an accountability person to call and role play until you get confident enough in your professional language, right? Remember, we're professionals. Please do not call these vendors and suppliers and talk like you're talking to your best girlfriend, right? We are professionals. Hi, my name is Crista Wylie. I am a travel agent. I was calling to get pricing for a cruise for my client, right? But if that's not something you're comfortable doing, play a little role play, right? But yes, you guys can call any of our vendors any old time.
This will be on your YouTube page. Is that correct?
This will be I mean, I'll get it so I can get this exact one, because I do not have multi-cabin on my YouTube. But I do have Royal Caribbean, just one cabin. I have group booking Royal Caribbean, and then now I'll have multi-cabin up there as well as other cruise lines, even the ones that we're not big fans of.
Can you talk about the drink package?
Yes, I can. So there are multiple drink packages when it comes to Royal Caribbean. So some cruise lines, they have like the soda package, and then they have the alcohol package. Some people have the soda package, and then they have the bottom shelf liquor and the top shelf liquor. Royal Caribbean has several drink packages. They have bubbles, they have coffee, they have, and then they have their cheers, or not their cheers package. That's not what it's called with them. But then they have their deluxe drink package, right? So look into that. One of the things at Royal Caribbean, they don't have a price. They think they're, no, not price cap. They don't have a drink cap on their drink package. So with other cruise lines, you're capped to a certain amount of drinks, whereas Royal Caribbean does not. If you guys like to have, because one of the things people ask is it worth getting the drink package? Is it worth it? You guys, I implore you all to open your calculator, right? Put in the total amount for the drink package and start subtracting drinks. Before you know it, you will have a negative number, meaning that you have now surpassed the dollar amount. Because if you are like me, who likes to drink Starbucks on cruise ships, I don't drink Starbucks when I'm not on the ship, but for whatever reason, I like to drink it on cruise ships. But because I don't like their regular coffee, but the specialty coffees, mocktails, cocktails, beer, wine, all of those things are going to all be included in there. So before you know it, you are going to have, racking up a bill. Also, the other thing people ask about is if I have two people over the age of 21 in a cabin and I buy the deluxe package, do both people have to purchase the drink package? And the answer is yes. May or may not be why I put me and my husband in a different cabin, but I'm not saying that.
Okay, so it was another question about commissions on flights to only cruise or only cruise when booked together.
Again, I don't know. I've never booked flight. I've used the flight finder personally prior to being a travel agent. I have actually not been on a Royal Caribbean cruise since I've been a travel agent. I've tried, but cruising was shut down for so long. So this is the first time as a travel agent that I've not yet ever booked a client through Flight Finder because you guys, I'm in the business to upsell, right? We sell things, right? We sell things. That's what we do for a living. So I'm going to upsell getting them there a day early, which then I can do it in VAX, which then means I can capitalize on my commission to make up for the fact that I'm not making money on my flight. So, yeah.
Okay, next question. Why do you put your email but your client's phone number?
So that you both get information. I do it with every type of booking I do. I don't want just my client getting it. I want my client to be informed if there's been a flight change or something like that, but I also want to be informed because Lord knows that they don't see things.
Okay, Maggie's super excited. She has an Alaska cruise to book. I love Alaska cruises. I just went on one. Can you send email quotes?
Yes, that button that said e-quote at the bottom when I showed you said quote, it said e-quote, pricing, and cabins, I think is the three buttons. E-quote. You guys click on e-quote. It actually creates a really pretty thing that emails to them. Now,
and you can customize it too.
You can customize it. You can put in your own things. You can do all kinds of fun stuff, right? Now, you guys, I will tell you, and like I said, I'm not trying to reinvent the stone. I'm not trying to rewrite what your team or what your trainers have taught you to do. I don't always do that though. I like to get my clients on the phone. I talk to them. Now, what I might do is get them on the phone and say, hey, now I'm going to send you over something so we can go through it together, right? But just make sure there's a conversation with your client before you do that.
For sure. For groups, do they have the low deposit option, like $25?
They have lower deposits, yes.
Commissions on flights too. Again, I think you've addressed that a couple times. On the Carnival cruise, they are going from Washington State on an 8-day Western Caribbean cruise, asking on the travel insurance.
They're going on an 8-day Western. And what about the insurance? I'm not sure what that question,
I'm
sorry.
not sure either.
Okay.
And yes,
Maybe
Krista does make everything look easy, super easy.
You
guys,
I tell you, I literally have been a trainer since I became an adult. Before this, like I said, 15 years as a paramedic, I used to train people how to be a paramedic. And I used to have to tell people how the body worked. I used to use an engine all the time. I'd be like, do you know how a car engine works? And that's how I'd explain the heart, right? But before that, I used to train franchise owners how to open UPS stores at 19 years old. So training
but we all agree. We're just saying you do it well. Let's see. Is Royal a good cruise line for millennials? It seems
absolutely.
like my customers are focused on Carnival more so because it's called the fun ship.
So I understand why Carnival has that tagline because it's the fun ship, but it depends on the ship. If they are, and I know we're talking Royal, but I'll talk about Carnival here for a second. If they're wanting a booze cruise, they need to go on a 3 or 4 day cruise. Okay. Those are typically like those weekend cruises, the Friday to Monday cruises. Those are going to be the party ships. If you hit up a 7-day on Carnival, it's still a fun ship. They're absolutely amazing, but they're family. They're very family forward, so if they're trying to go for fun, but not a lot of kids, then 7-day on a Carnival may not be their thing. Now, obviously they all have like adult areas, but I've been cruising Royal my whole life and I think they're amazing. I think they have a lot for adults. They have a lot for kids with that a little bit upscale amenities.
I agree. I like teams on Royal too.
Mm-hmm.
2 cents in, sorry.
No,
let's see. How soon after booking the cruise do you request hotel room blocks? Do your guests get their own hotel and air?
So I'm guessing you're talking about a group. Like if you have like a group going, then it really depends on I always say it depends on how people are paying, right? So if you're going to be doing hotel and flight and you have different, they're coming from different places, obviously with VAX, and I don't want to dig down another hole, but VAX, obviously you can do multi-origin, right? So meaning people flying from different places, staying in one hotel room. You can do that on VAX. You can do multiple rooms, but however, on those things, you can't do more than 8 people. You can't do more than 4 rooms. So it really, to me, I try to keep families together. So if I'm doing if I'm doing a group, I'm going to do one family at a time because understand that it's going to have one reservation number. So that's how I do it.
Let's see. Do you prefer clients to book excursions and drink packages via the app or the website?
I've never used the app.
I have.
What do you mean, like the app? Like,
yeah,
are you talking about like them booking their own excursions, like on the Royal Caribbean app?
I think so.
Yeah. So my answer may not be the most popular answer, but it's going to be my answer. When my clients book cruises, I walk them through how to book excursions. Sometimes I'll actually get on a Zoom with my clients and I will have them log into their portal and I will walk them through how to book excursions and drink packages and whatnot. Because we don't earn commissions on drink packages and excursions on all of our cruise lines. Now, if it's a cruise line that I'm going to earn commission, then heck yeah, I'm going to do it. But if I'm not earning commission on it, I'm going to do what I can do to make it the easiest for my client. So there's that answer. I don't know if it's the popular answer.
It's a good answer. It's your answer. It's okay. Let's see, Krista, if we use regular gratuity, what is the percentage or payment, please?
Okay, so gratuities, so you're gonna do, so I do pre-gratuity, like I do my gratuities beforehand. Gratuities are based on cabin type. I always joke, I cruised back when gratuities were much cheaper than they are now, but obviously the prices have changed. Gratuities are based on cabin type. So if you have somebody in an inside cabin, it might be $14 per person per night, whereas gratuities in a suite may be $30 per person per night. Obviously, you're getting a bigger room, bigger space, more treatments and whatnot. Now, understand that those gratuities, they get divided and hashed and X'd, whatever. But I like to do my pre-gratuities because, like I said, I like to have as much paid off before I go. Now, you guys can tip beyond the standard gratuities. Let's say you had a favorite bartender. Maybe you really loved your cabin steward, right? You guys can bring cash and you guys can tip them beyond that, and you'll get envelopes at the end of the cruise to give those to them.
Perfect. Let's see, is booking 5 rooms considered a group booking?
No. You can. Now, I would tell you, if you have 5 cabins, guaranteed 5 cabins, you better be making a group. You better be making a group. There is a misconception that groups have to mean people that know each other. Group cruises, they don't need to know each other. There is nothing that stops you from creating a group and piecing that out. Go create a group and then advertise that group at that group rate. Not to mention it's locking in that price. It's holding a bank of rooms for a certain amount of time. So if you already have 5 cabins secured for a group, you better be making a group and then just go sell 3 more cabins. Right?
Let's see. Rhonda said that she really likes how you're talking to the agents directly. I agree. I like that kind of training. Cruise insurance doesn't work for New York residents. Most of my clients have to get outside insurance, said Kimberly. Let's see. Hi, Krista. Thanks as usual. Great training. How can I ask for the free cabin for having booked 16?
So that is going to be a phone call type situation. Tour conductor credit. It's in the tour conductor credit thing. That free cabin situation, I need to speak on that because everybody sees 16 cabins, you get a free cabin. Understand that 8 cabins gets you 1 berth. That doesn't mean you're birthing a child. It is a different kind of birth. It has an E in it. You guys, 8 cabins gives you 1 berth, meaning 1 person in a room. Rooms are based off double occupancy, meaning that you will have to pay for the second person. So if you do 16 cabins, then you have 2 berths. Okay, so they apply those tour conductor credits for those berths, right? And so you'll have to go in there in the group and use it. And you guys will see it. When you guys go in, it's called group amenity points, tour conductor credits. It'll be like 1 in 16, 2 in 32. I'm sure that made no sense, but
I understood. Let's see, Royal's confusing, and so this helps. You got a lot of thank yous.
Oh, you guys are welcome.
Asking about, one person said 8 rooms is considered a group. Another says Royal is 10 rooms is a group. Do you want to comment on that?
No, because I believed it to be 8, but I don't want to say. Yeah.
Google that is what we say.
Google it or pick up the phone and call Royal.
Call Royal or Google that. It's your best friend. They would like your YouTube channel again, please. And then, Mo. So Mo is one of our agents here, and she put a lot of the different training websites there for us. But your YouTube channel, please.
Travel by Tilly is my YouTube handle. So if you guys go to YouTube, just look up Travel by Tilly, Tilly. The store, it's like the store name, Tilly, if you guys know the brand.
And it's YouTube /
Travel by
Travel by
Tilly.
Tilly altogether, just to let you know. I did post it beforehand.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Do you buy the drink package before or after boarding?
So if you buy your drink package prior to sailing, you will get a discount on it. If you buy it on the ship, it has to be the first day and it's going to be full price.
Oh,
You guys can't buy it after the first day.
If you go down here, there is somebody who put it down further.
Okay.
Do they offer vow renewal services?
They do actually. They do offer several different type of wedding services. One thing that you guys will have to look into is what type of ceremony you're actually looking for. Some cruise lines do vow renewals, meaning there's really no license involved. Then there are weddings. There's even embarkation day weddings, which means that somebody will get married on the cruise ship. They'll be able to invite their guests, and then prior to all aboard, they will be removed from said ship. So there's all types of different weddings, different packages. There is, if you go on there, you guys can actually get flyers on different ones. The thing that I will tell you guys when it comes to weddings, don't book cabins and then ask about a wedding. Ask about a wedding and then book cabins, because there's only a certain amount. And I know that when cruise lines opened up, and Christine, I'm looking at you because Christine had this issue. Their people wanted Royal Caribbean and Royal Caribbean was sold out. All of their weddings were sold. So she bumped to Celebrity, which is still a Royal Caribbean brand, but things book up. They can't have 25 weddings in one day. So it books up.
I guess put them all in a room and do it, right? Okay, so this is concerning the drink package, talking about your husband. If you put your husband in a different cabin with kiddos, wouldn't you still be paying for both packages?
Ask me that question later when we're not recording.
For non-alcoholic drinkers, do they buy the drink package too?
If you want special, like I said, the drink package, you guys have to read the drink package on there, but they include mocktails, they include specialty coffees, they include other things other than alcohol, bottled water and things like that.
Perfect. Which insurance protects you if you're injured on excursion?
If you're doing an excursion with the cruise line, then your travel insurance protection.
Let's see. Ivan likes Royal much better than Carnival. Let's see. The lower deposits are offered with either refundable or non-refundable options, correct?
Yes, because you're choosing which cruise you're going to do first. Before you ever create the group, you're choosing whether or not you're going to do a non-refundable or a refundable. Now, a lot of people, they go NRD because it's a cheaper cruise, but cheaper isn't always better.
And let's see. Have you ever cruised with Celebrity?
I have not been on Celebrity. I want to be. I actually had, and it made me cry so much. I was actually 2 days out from leaving on a Celebrity cruise when the cruise line got shut down.
That stinks. Is this a good cruise line for somebody's first cruise?
Yes.
Gets complicated. Hold on. Should you be taking Sea Academy class before booking on Virgin voyages?
I'm going to make this a generic question or a general answer. You guys do not need to do trainings in order to book. You don't have to do trainings in order to book. Now, I think you should do trainings before you book, because you're going to learn about the product. You're going to learn how to book. You're going to learn how to book on their trainings. I say that like that because booking is, I think that you actually need to get in there and play, or you need to attend a training like this where you actually watch somebody book. But you don't have to do the trainings in order to be able to book your clients.
It does make it easier if you have it, though, sometimes.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
see. Have you used the shore excursions supplier?
I'm not sure if you're talking about a excursion.
There's a supplier called Shore Excursions.
Oh no, I don't use them. If I book my clients an excursion, I'm booking it through the cruise line. I won't take on that liability of not booking them through the cruise line.
Sorry,
You're fine.
How long do they hold the quote for?
3 days, usually 3 days.
Trying to pop through some of these and get some of them.
3 days usually.
Let's see. A lot of these are a whole bunch of repeats of a lot of the questions that you've already answered. So I think we're pretty much done with all of the questions. Oh, here's a good one at the end. Why is it important to become CLIA certified? I think that will probably be our last question.
Money. I mean, that's a good reason. That's a great reason, right? I like to make as much money as possible, and I like to save as much money as possible. Plus, with the CLIA card, until you can earn that Iatan card, you can get those discounts. You can use those benefits and those perks. I actually have my third one. It fell on the floor. My third one came in the mail. Whoopsha! Right? I have them sitting on my desk. I'm like, here's my 2021. You guys, honestly, you get bonus commissions when you book cruises. There's a lot of great trainings that CLIA does put on. So if you guys are wanting to get into, some people want those letters behind their names, so you guys can go get those through CLIA. They offer a lot of really cool stuff through the CLIA website. Also discounts on, what is it, Office Depot, cruise lines, or not cruise lines, car rentals, all kinds of cool stuff. So money, that's why. And it's a tax write-off. Who doesn't love a good tax write-off?
And you could go to your travel cafe to find all the information on how to apply for a CLIA card, FYI. And there's the pricing and everything is on there. It's once a year at $69 is how much it's going to be. Well, that being said, can everybody just give a big, huge thank you and everything for Miss Crista Wylie, our 1-star platinum. She has done an amazing job walking us through how to book cruises and answered a ton of questions for everyone. Took a lot of time tonight for us. Such a rock star.
Thank you guys. I love it. I love having you guys on here. I love doing trainings. I love just seeing people's brains expand, but I also love when things just click. I love those light bulbs. I love when people are like, man, I was overcomplicating that. So thank you guys so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. And if you guys have questions about cruises, feel free, reach out. I always tell people, if you have questions on something, reach out, let me know. Follow me. Don't friend me. And I don't mean that rudely. Follow me. Follow me.
We say it
right?
all the time. Follow,
go to my Facebook business page. You guys follow my Facebook business page. You guys can see I do all kinds of different things on there. Subscribe to my YouTube and all of that.
Definitely follow her. It's worth it. Well, thank you so much again for coming out. And on behalf of our 1-star platinum Peach, Mrs. Nina Jackson Mitchell, we thank you for joining our walkthrough Wednesday session. And we're going to go ahead and consider this the evening. Have a good evening, everyone. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.